I think everyone who starts working out starts off with the exact same goal of wanting to have abs and wanting to have a nice aesthetic lean physique. You see it in all the movies, all your favorite actors. Anyone who has to go for a movie role, you automatically see them getting into crazy shape. But then I read a statistic the other day. Millionaires are actually more common than people with six pack. And then it got me thinking, the amount of people I actually see who are lean is a very small minority. And no, I'm not talking about social media, TikTok, where every single person on there is more roided and on more gear than the last one. I'm talking about walk outside in public. Fuck it. Walk around in your own gym and tell me how many people can you actually see that are maintaining a lean aesthetic physique. I bet you couldn't even count them on one hand. Now, I think you know where I'm going with this tangent, so I won't cut any more of your time. What I'm going to be doing here is going through the basic principles I think matter to getting lean. What this is not going to be is a video of me in a supermarket picking out different foods and telling you eat this instead of this. Because if it was really that simple and basic, everyone would have just done that and everyone would have been ripped by now. And millionaires certainly wouldn't be more common than people with six pack. I don't know how reliable that statistic actually is, but I promise that with enough hard work and a little bit of discipline, if you follow this guide, you will get what you want and what you've been dreaming about since you were a kid. First things first, let's use a little bit of logic. What is the main reason people either put on weight or struggle losing weight? It's because you're hungry. It doesn't take a genius. I think anyone knows that it's hunger that's the main driving force here. Why do you get hungry? Well, you have chemicals in your brain when you aren't eating or when you try to diet that tell you eat food, eat food, eat food. When you do feel that urge to eat, you guys need to look at it as not something to panic. It's a sign that all the shit that you're trying is working. When you feel that hunger, just resist it for that bit and I promise that temptation will eventually go away. You cannot panic and you cannot go and give in to your urges. Now, of course, there are ways to mitigate this. What you want to do is have as many nutrients and nutrient-dense foods in your diet. The more nutrients your body has, the more it's going to sense it's satiated because calories is not what it's looking for. It's looking for some nutritional deficiency. My diet video, I'm telling you, go watch it. Let's talk a bit about stress. Disclaimer, if you guys have any major life circumstances or you're dealing with anything out of the ordinary in your life, I suggest before you try tackle weight loss, you get that sorted, then come back later. Stress is one of the most catabolic things, and think of very few things that are more catabolic than stress and fatigue. When you increase cortisol, aka your stress hormone, it's harder to lose weight. It's borderline impossible to build muscle. What you want to do is look into stress management, look into meditation, look into getting the right amount of sleep, diet fatigue. I'm sure you've heard that term before. This is something that will raise your cortisol. But when you guys have been dieting for ages and you feel over dieted, go back to your maintenance calories for a short, brief period of time until you're feeling ready to go back and tackle it again. The more you sustain and continue with this fatigue, the more your weight is going to plateau and the more you're going to feel inclined to binge and just want to yo-yo diet in and out. Training. I'm going to keep this as short and to the point as I can. Nothing changes about your training, whether you're dieting, bulking, cutting. You keep training heavy, keep training just as you normally would. If you want to do some cardio, I suggest you pick cardio that isn't going to fatigue you. Go for a light jog with your friends, kick around the footy, kick around the soccer ball. Keep it at something that's very light and easy to commit to. Save the fatiguing and the hard training for the gym. Lifestyle. Now, people have this fantasy that they're going to get shredded, they're going to lose all this weight, they're going to diet their ass off, and then they're just going to ride off into the sunset and not have to think about it ever again. Once again, let's use a little bit of logic. If you go back to your old eating habits and your old lifestyle habits, what do you think is going to happen to all the progress you just earned? That's right. You're going to return exactly back to how you were before all this. Do not dig yourself into a hole that you cannot commit to for the long term. This is a lifestyle change. This is not something you're doing with a temporary mindset. Your ideal diet is something that shouldn't even feel like you're dieting, because if it doesn't feel like you're dieting, you're not going to care whether you're in a calorie deficit, calorie surplus. It could be if it fits your macros for you. It could be keto for some people. It's different for everyone, but you need to experiment and see what actually doesn't feel like dieting and what is getting you result. And the same goes for your training. The ideal training style for you is one that falls into the background of your life. Most of this is going to be mental. That's why I didn't want to approach it, eat this instead of this, that you've seen every single PT come at you with. Desire. You guys have to want it. I can't make you want it. No PT online can make you want it. When you can't bear the thought without having it, when not having it is worse than what it takes to get it, when your current life situation is so shit that you have no choice but to go for it, then you will get it. Change is driven by desire, and that's only something that you can control. This was a fitness video about weight loss, but in reality, it was disguised on how to get anything you want. Desire almost conquers every single other pillar and thing that I've mentioned in this video. Ask any successful people, all the people you look up to in the media who have become the best in the world at anything, have wanted it so bad that they couldn't breathe. And no, I'm not exaggerating. You really do have to want it that bad. Otherwise, every single other attempt is going to be half-assed. And all of a sudden, when you do want it, all the other things about discipline, all these other tricks and these hacks, all of that does not matter, because now you're doing whatever it takes and are going to brute force it into reality. And if you are someone who's struggling, please DM me. You are seeing this video, reach out to me, and I would love to take questions and just help you personally one-on-one, free of charge. But I just want to give my helping hands to those who need it. Let me know your problem, let me know the struggle, and I can give my 10 cents and see if it can help you. Thank you for watching, and I hope in this video you've learned the real reasons behind A, why you're struggling to achieve the goals you want, and B, what you really need to do and the mindset you really need to have to achieve it.